Guess we'll figure out how the market's doing. I'm sure you're already on it.
Yeah, it opened slightly bullish. I took a $200 scalp,
All
got
right.
that, and just before the price dumped.
Oh,
So
now it's dumping.
yeah, it's kind of sort of trying to dump, but now it's sort of trying to come back up because it got oversold on the 32nd or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
I was going to talk about crude oil yesterday. I usually
Yeah.
don't trade crude. In fact, I think that was probably my first crude oil trade. I was looking at it on 5-minute candles.
Oh, feel free to
And
share and enlighten us.
let me show you what I saw. I saw this. I'm going to straighten out my screen here.
That's right.
Okay, let me go ahead and share. Sharing is
Robert,
good.
yeah, Robert might not always trade crude futures, but at heart he's a gangster, you
But
know.
when I do, all the neighbors do as well.
Yeah. I
I don't
know.
always listen to Rush, but when I do, all the neighbors do.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, there it is.
There it is.
Okay,
Boom.
this
All
is
right.
exactly what I saw. 5-minute candles. Look at that. And I'm going, geez, what a dump. And then I was looking at the indicators and kind of saw this. I'm like, wow, deep red Trendillo. Got super low in red on the squeeze momentum, or super low in red on the stochastic. Squeeze momentum is starting to show some signs of buying. There's dark green bars showing up there in the MACD. And then I start to see, I've got my 5 moving average,
Yeah.
8. The 5 is red, the 8 is gold. So I start to see the bottom of this Trendillo start turning up. And I'm going, I think I might want to buy this at the 5 and 8 cross. So I bought it exactly at the 5 and 8 crossing, right there. I got a really good price. I might have front ran it by a few points. And then I realized I think it's $20 a tick. So one tick equals 10 cents. So if it goes up $69.90 to $70 even, that's $20. So what I did was
Oh,
I
yeah.
only took it to here. I got out right here, which I thought, well, this is kind of a mini support level. I'll just do this to be safe. And it actually pretty much almost doubled. In fact, it did double what I could have got. I got 340 on 1 unit trading crude. I should have traded 2 units because this was an A+ setup. And
Yeah.
then it kind of went up and messed around, and then it went higher.
Whoa.
And basically, I could have stayed in the trade and let Top Step close my trade at 1:10 p.m. Pacific. I would have been in the money.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
from that
is.
entry, we're talking about just before I got out, it was 42 ticks.
Mm.
And if I would have stayed in and just let them close my trade, it would have been 88 ticks. So remember, 88
Wow.
ticks is a really nice trade.
That's
So
a
anyway,
lot of money.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to show you that setup because I don't see setups in the NASDAQ very often that are this clean. I mean, it's just all red candles. In fact, if I would have caught it, I could have shorted this 1 hour
Oh
after
my
it
gosh.
opened,
Yeah.
and it rolled over and just went straight down and never looked back, basically. Sure, there was a few little green candles in here, but nothing that ever, broke above support, last resistance or support or anything. It just tumbled. In reality, this only lost, we're talking like a little over $2 in value. But man, I mean, if you catch a big move like this on crude, it's going to be some serious money.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's a nice. I mean, that's a nice smooth chart. That's not bad. That's a predictable trade there.
Yeah, I call this an A+ setup because I rarely see any A+ setups on the NASDAQ. And this one, it was like, okay, this is just like taking candy from a baby. I am going to take this trade. And I took it. Worked out perfectly.
It's like taking candy from an oil refinery.
Yeah, exactly. Oil-coated candy, but still it's candy, right?
Yeah. That's
So yeah,
awesome.
nice trade. Fun trade. Because I just watched it go up, and it was like, okay, there's no messing around, nobody trying to dump it on me. You know, it's a lot of these assets have a lot less manipulation than the NASDAQ, because for one thing, you have to remember the NASDAQ is a mixture of basically the top stocks that are influencing it. So it's weighted. It's weighted and traded by itself. There's people that have big leverage abilities, 150, 250 units they can put on, and they can bully the market. So they usually only do that when liquidity is thin, but they can, just make it do stuff that the indicators show that it's not in that position.
Yeah.
Force you out of trade, scare you, So anyway.
Yeah. So now we're getting a little bit of dump this morning. Well, not dump, but now that's a nice downtrend. So you got some of that up. Now it's just maybe this will do a oil futures move.
I wanted to show you one thing about the
Yeah.
Trendillo. I'm not sure if I showed you that before. So basically, if you're looking at, say, 2-minute candles on the NASDAQ, all you have to do when it turns red like this, and it's below the 75, which is the little bit wider green line here. I have a real thin, let's see here, where is my, anyway, we won't worry about that right now. So when it turns red like this, and the stochastic is coming down, you can basically take a short right when it turns red. You can stay in the short until the bottom, until you figure it's starting to maybe gradually come out of that. Or you can stay in it until the 5 and 8 crosses bullish and stay in the short. This short right here, of course, it was in the wee hours of the morning. So this short right here was worth, on the NASDAQ, from the 5 and 8 crossing bearish, well, let's just say from the Trendillo going red, which is right there. So until the 5 and 8 cross back bullish, that's basically 260 ticks. So in the NASDAQ, that is $1,300 at 1 year. So it's a really nice short.
Yeah.
Anyone who's a permabull, what they should probably do is take their practice account and just practice shorting, because the biggest reason not to short is the fear that you're a bad shorter. All you have to do is think about the whole thing upside down. In fact, you can invert the candle area, the chart. You can invert it so it's upside down. If somebody wants to, it's pretty easy to do. But you have to just think upside down. Take the short. Just as the 5 and 8 cross bullish, the indicators are bullish. You also have a bearish crossing. 5 crosses down over the 8 in a bearish fashion as the indicators are all dropping and starting to turn red. You can short there. In fact, you can even short the Trendillo when it turns red, and then just leave the trade on until it comes out of the red.
Yeah.
You're still going to make a bunch of money, when you have a decided downtrend like this.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I just wanted to point that out, because it's something to think about when you're thinking, you're trying to suss out a trade here and the market's not showing you anything that you really like. Just follow the Trendillo.
Yeah.
Let the other indicators back you up as far as, it really is going down, isn't it?
No, it makes sense. Yeah. And that's really like your algorithmic trading. I mean, that's what the big money does. It's just
sure they do.
I mean, you can, if like I watch the order books for Bitcoin, and I can see, you can see it. You can basically watch it. The big 100K orders just come and go, all day. Ding, 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 ding. They're on it. long and shortened. But yeah, no, that's good. I need to. I like that the 5 and the 8 rather than the 5 and the 10 on the 2 minute for that
Mhm.
immediate price action. But that's really that's kind of what we're playing at, is right there in that range. We're just here to you know it's kind of nice to be looking at these short trades. I mean, I know some would consider it scalping, and I don't know. Everyone has their own philosophies on things, but it's
Yeah.
nice to be able to make your money in a couple hours or an hour or 15 minutes and then just be done for the day.
That's absolutely the best idea because I've traded the NASDAQ enough to where, if you don't make your money by 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, it's probably just going to get range bound and messy and sideways. And you can watch as the starting at New York Open, you have good volume, a lot of participation, good liquidity. And as the morning progresses, you can watch the volume just taper off
Yeah.
pretty sharply. So by 9 o'clock, which Top Step actually considers that the end of fast markets, which it really isn't. But what do you go to then? Medium markets. Um, a lot of times you do get really nice moves on days where it's real swingy. Friday was a pretty good example of a day where just looking at 1 minute candles, the price swung up, it swung down, it swung up again. So you had like probably 3 longs and 3 shorts that you could have taken during that whole day up until noon or something. But those days it's not like that every day.
No.
So you just have to kind of figure out where it's at. The first thing I do is I look at the 30-minute Trendillo. Is it red or green? If no, I look at the 5-minute. Is it red or green? If it's, say, green, I can go down to, if it's just turning green, that's a good sign it's going to probably have more upside. You can kind of analyze it and then go down to, during fast markets only, you can use 15-second candles and catch it when it's low and starting to come up and just get in the trade.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
If the 5-minute is not on, green or red, you change to 2-minute. And 2-minute is about the last thing. If that's not green or red, you just go to 15 seconds and see if you can get a trade out of the cycles, the short-term cycles, which are
Yeah.
basically scalps, but you can get really nice scalps,
Oh,
even if
yeah.
the market's sideways. It's going to be, if the market is very sideways, it's going to be usually fairly predictable.
Yeah.
Usually is the key word, though. So
Uh, see, yeah. So a little sideways right now. It looks like I was looking at the NQ1 exclamation point. So because that's the NASDAQ minis, I think. The
yes, NQ1 exclamation point is the
yeah.
mini.
Just looking at the
MNQ is the micro.
Oh, gotcha. MNQ. Okay.
Yeah.
Go with that
And of course, on
MNQ.
Top Step X, MNQ, it's a little bit different. The contract we're trading now is December on the mini, which is NQZ24 on Top Step X. And the micro is MNQZ24 for the micro NASDAQ.
Okay, mini. All right, futures. Perfect. I have to remember that. That's one thing about the doing the futures like this is that they'll change. So I was the other day I was looking at it and I'm thinking, why isn't my chart moving? What's going on? It's because it was it had changed. I was looking at a no longer relevant future.
Sorry for the noise.
Oh, that's cool. You got some serious action going on out there.
Yeah, it happens like pretty much 24 hours a day around here. They just cut
Mm.
the mufflers off their cars so they backfire. And please
Mm-hmm.
don't care. It's not.
No, they don't. They don't.
It could sound like a shotgun blast. No problem. Rev your engine up, your loud car up to 10 grand. No problem.
Oh,
You can do
I
that
know.
here. Come on over.
I
We're
know.
looking for more racers here that like to drag race on the main street and
Yeah.
have impunity.
In like your $700
Yeah, in your
like
1980 Toyota Corolla.
I know your 1980
Huh?
Toyota Corolla
Love it.
with
I
the
love Hawaii.
resonator.
So awesome.
Uh Now here in Scottsdale, we have the same thing, and you know, I love, you know, I'm definitely a motorhead. I love my you know, hot rods and stuff, but that's just, I don't know. The culture is not very good. The whole like uh, drifting culture and like intersection takeover culture. It's not a good culture right now, and it just seems like back in the day you had a badass engine and you would just put glass packs on there, or you would put, you know, light mufflers, and you could hear it and it sounded beautiful, like an old, you know, an old
Oh yeah,
pri-
yeah. You know, 327. You put a set of
yes.
headers on it, and you get
Hmm.
some cherry bomb lights or whatever they call them.
Yeah,
Not the little red round ones, but the you know, the
full
actual ones
size.
that look like a short muffler.
Yeah, nice.
It still
Hmm.
sound good. And then if you had a 3/4 cam, all you had to do is pull up to an intersection and let other people hear it idle, and they'd be like, "Whoa, awesome,
Yeah,
dude."
I know. See, that was a huge difference. It was organic. It was, you know, it was as art, you know, especially if you get into the I'm getting more retro as I get older, and like nothing like having your points, you know. I love an old points distributor, and it's just beautiful. So um that's where I've been working on restoring my like 78 Cherokee Chief, which has got
Mm.
the AMC 360 in it, an amazing engine, and you know, it's a little loud, but it's not loud on purpose. It's just, you know, high compression, badass engine. And so a huge difference. Like they're missing out on the beautiful organic sound of an engine. They put those little resonators on there, which are actually amplifiers for your stupid, you know, 70 horsepower 1980 Toyota engine.
I got a question
It's
for you,
like
Craig. You ever seen an AMX from
I
back in
love
the
them.
day? My
I love them.
friend's
My
dad
favorite.
had an AMX with a 40, gosh, what was it?
2 or 1.
407? 402, maybe.
Mm,
Well, 402 is the Chevelle.
I think
They
they were
said 396,
401s.
but it was actually 402. I think it was a 401. But he had a
Yeah.
brown one, and it was actually a pretty nice car. And he had it for years. He ended up selling it, and then he bought a Datsun 240Z and had
Yeah.
somebody install a 327 Chevy in it.
Oh
He would
yeah.
literally floor it from stop sign to or stoplight to stoplight, slam on the brakes, and until the cops in Eugene started getting, you know, kind of like a little bit miffed.
Yeah.
They started giving him tickets, and then they told the judge said, if you get one more ticket, I'm going to yank your license. So he sold the car. He had it like,
Oh,
you know, 6 months. But
yeah.
anyway, I would have liked to have had that AMX because
Oh,
I saw a Javelin the other day, and it reminded me.
yes.
I First Javelin I've seen in 5 years. You know, a
No,
'71 or '72. But that
yeah,
AMX that reminded me of that.
yeah, I'd love to have a javelin. I mean, I think that I, in general, kind of cut off my interest in cars at about 1970. You know, I'm more of a, but
You
there
know
are some
why?
cars, but there are some cars that went into the 70s and were really amazing. And like the Javelins, I think like the 1972 Javelin is just so gaudy and beautiful. I mean, it's an amazing, you know, it speaks of a better time.
Well, you know why after 1970 you didn't like the cars and the engines? Because the government in 1970
Yes.
created a fake gas shortage so they could
Yep.
raise the price of gasoline, and they basically created a supply and demand issue. High demand, low supply. Um, and after 1969 or 70, all the major car manufacturers started seriously cutting back horsepower
Oh
to
yeah.
get rid of the so-called gas guzzler issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a 327 Chevy or a 350 went from, you know, 300 horsepower to like 200 horsepower
Yeah.
or less, or 150. They also started putting a lot of smog stuff on there because there was
Yeah.
growing concern about the environment and air pollution.
Yeah, and it's tough because a lot started happening right about 1970. We went off the gold standard, you know, um, and that was a big one. But I think also we began to be that like people began to be trained that the only emissions that exist or come out of, like, the only environmental impact of a car is what comes out of the tailpipe, is what people began to be trained to believe. And then of course they defined what good and bad is. And then it's so um and I'm this should it would be hard to find somebody who's more of an environmentalist than I am, but that's the big trick. I actually am an environmentalist. I really do care, and that's the big difference where I'm like, like my old 78 Chief, my beautiful 4x4,
Mm-hmm.
it's more environmentally efficient than a Tesla because it wasn't manufactured just now. It's like they forget about the manufacturing monster, so it's like, yeah, it's tough. I mean, we unfortunately, in so many ways, we've been trained to be absolute dumbasses. And the thing is, I have a beautiful year of 1966 Hot Rod magazine, and it's so hopeful and beautiful, and it's all these great articles. That's like 66. Then I have a year of 1973, and if you look at the difference in those magazines, it went from just hopeful, fun projects to endless, columns about how the, auto manufacturer, how, hot rods and such were being attacked, but cars in general, and so much of the emissions that we do are pointless. They mean nothing, but then the government, regulates, mandates, makes it law. Like, what auto manufacturers have to go through to make a car is phenomenal. Like, I don't think people realize how. And then now, since 2021, uh, I know it's gonna come out soon, but where everything has to have geofencing and kill switch, which a lot of it already has. But even though the feature's not turned on yet, it has to exist legally, for them to manufacture the car. So it's like, hey, everybody, get ready to, you can't go, more than 5 miles from your house if your social credit score is not high enough. And by the way, if you, if you do a
Real
social media,
fencing, you're talking about smart cities.
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah,
that
smart
that
cities,
to me is an abomination
it
because
is, and mhm,
humans inherently don't want to be locked up in a cage. So what is
no,
a smart city? It's basically a cage. They
yeah,
glorify it by saying, "Oh, everything you need is here: shopping, schools. You can walk or take public transport, blah blah blah." But wait,
isn't it
what if I
great?
want to drive my car to the coast? Can I do that? No,
Yeah.
because everything you need is here. We even have a virtual screen where you can sit in front of a screen and pretend like you're at the coast. Well, I don't want to pretend I'm at the coast.
I know. I hear you. See, yeah, we're living in interesting times when it comes to that. Yeah, so, our cars will have smart city geofencing built in, and a lot do after 2021 already, but I think now I forget how that regulation is going, but it's mandatory. They have to do it. And the manufacturers will say, well, we're not going to turn it on. It just has that feature in case the government wants it. It's like, well, so that's also driving a huge renaissance in classic vehicles. The classic vehicle prices, if anybody is into such things, if you watch, you can still get something cool, but they're getting incredibly expensive.
Oh yeah, tell
I
me
mean,
about it.
yeah. So,
If
and
you want to
people
buy a
are,
64 and a half Mustang convertible, you know what they
woo,
go for these days?
what, 70,000? I don't know.
Yeah, a really nice one, a Concours,
Mm-hmm.
97 or higher would probably go for like 80s, I would imagine, maybe
Yeah.
100,000.
Mm.
I mean, and if my dream used to be to have one of the very few 1970 Barracuda Hemi convertibles. I think
Yeah.
they made like two or three. There was one in the Dark Shadows movie with Johnny
Mm.
Depp. That the witch was driving one, and I'm looking at that car going, "Oh my God, that's a hot rodder's wet dream right there. I would love to have that car. They're worth like $1 million or more.
Yeah.
Extremely rare. They even made a Camaro Z28. I think they made one 69 that was a convertible, and they made it for an executive at General Motors. So that would
Mm.
be pretty cool to have something like that, but a little bit out of our reach at this point. But if we do well enough in futures, who knows? Sky's the limit, right, Greg?
Well, that's the thing about trading and trading futures, and I still trade my crypto, but trading futures, trading everything that one learns to and gets proficient at, because um, it really is the truth. The sky's the limit. I mean, you can make as much money as you want, but it just takes, well, work. You know what I mean? It just takes,
Yeah.
sometimes people will say, "How much money did you make today?" And they're like, I'm like, "Well, I made like this much. It was a good day." And, but I tell them, I say, but that's, I may have made that money like in, 30 seconds, right? But it took me 10 years to become a trader who could do that. So yeah, we have wiped enough spread off our we have wiped enough spread off our brow. We have wiped enough sweat off our brow, and our brow has been going back further and further. So now it's like the top of my head.
NASDAQ's coming down now. We just broke yesterday's high a few
Look at
minutes
that.
ago,
Look at
and
that beautiful
and we are
trade.
dropping, and now it's challenging yesterday's value area high.
Woo! This is
So
beautiful. That's a
I
nice.
almost shorted this a few seconds ago, and I was going, you know, I think I missed my when it broke that yesterday's high. I missed my boat because now it's just really coming down.
That's fine. It's gonna come back up. That's, yeah. Last week's high. No, no, it broke. What's that? That one is yesterday's value area low. Whoa, well, that's fine. This was a nice dump. So it's kind of like get your trigger finger ready.
I'm looking for the long setup now. I'll tell you.
I think I kind of am too. I'm watching the 15 second. We can see it on you. Yeah, I can see you're watching the 15 second. I'm watching the 15 second.
Yeah, 15
Your
second.
NQ1.
I'm not trading that yet because that can fool you. I mean, it might not
Mm.
quite be done dumping, and you end up underwater, and that's no fun. So
And the
right now,
two
it's
minute.
stuff out. 2 minute is good. If you want to shorten it a bit, get a better entry, maybe 1 minute. But when the 2 minute Trendillo is red, just wait for it to finish its deal.
Wait for that tangent to turn up.
Yeah. Also, it looks like it's going to paint a second bottom on the stochastic on the 2 minute. So you got to watch for that too. You want to see a smoothing and dark green, dark red bands on the squeeze as well. And the MACD should be starting to shape up before you even consider getting in, because if you get in too early and try to front run it, it can burn you really,
Mm.
really hard. So I know you've made some money in your combine. Congratulations. Now you have to like say, okay, I want to keep this, and I only want to build it, not detract from it. So just
Yeah.
look for really choice setups, and pretty soon you'll have a funded account.
Yeah, and that will be just absolutely glorious. Yeah, I'm watching that 2 minute, the NQ1 exclamation point, and wow, okay. Yeah, how's that 15 second looking again? Let's see, take a look at that. And yeah, we're not ready to roll over yet. This is a pretty good woo! Looking at 15 second like you are. I mean,
Yeah,
that's glorious. 15 seconds, still no hope there. Yeah,
yeah. I
this
mean,
would
I'm
have
looking at
been.
5 minute. It's just pure red. The 5 minute Trendillo just turned red on this 5 minute time frame.
Mm,
So it's coming down the mountain.
that's a glorious dump.
It is.
uh,
It definitely is. Now it has already broken. No, it doesn't look it. So there's an area that it went down to. I don't want to overanalyze this, but it kind of challenged the basic area where it was. It dumped to about 12:15, 12:20 a.m. Monday morning. So
mm.
it's kind of challenging that area. And if it doesn't dump a lot more, it will still be technically making higher lows
Oh,
on the 5 minute and 15 minute. It's a little more visible. Well,
Yeah, that would technically be a. Oh, I'm looking at that now, on the 5 minute. Yeah, you can see where it's definitely not a upwards channel. Yeah, not an upwards channel, that's for sure. But you can see that it's actually. I can see where there's like higher lows, but this where we're in an interesting spot now
Yeah, we are.
because this kind of makes or breaks it. Yeah, I can what I could do is see I have this I'm going to share for just a sec.
Sure.
Yeah, and I will let's see if it'll work here. Seems like there it is. So here you can kind of see it where it's a 5 minute, and you can see where definitely not an upwards channel, but those are higher lows ultimately. So we're gonna see if we keep that higher low trend going or if we like break below it. Now we'll have to see. Yeah, it's easy for me to share. I have this. I'm sitting in front of this like mega monitor. I have and I got my badass. I kind of wish that TradingView could offload to the GPU. I think it runs only on the CPU. I always wanted to find if I could tune that because, like, um, I had this like it's pretty much a gaming machine. Not that I'm really a gamer. I actually am not, but it's got the big NVIDIA card in it. It's a badass machine and I have the GPU. If I could offload TradingView to the GPU, that'd be awesome. But it seems like it sticks to the CPU. I wish there was an option somewhere. If anybody knows, let me know because I wish you could GPU offload TradingView. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it sure would.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can. I'm sure probably, but I just don't. I don't know how that actually would be done outside of a setting. I don't know.
One thing that's notable right now in the NASDAQ is that the 30-minute is
Oh
turning
yeah.
red on the Trendillo.
Oh yeah. Look at that. So there's a 30 minute, and look at the Trendillo. Oops. If I zoom in on that thing, yep, that's definitely a red Trendillo. Squeeze indicator on the 30 is red. Um, buy sell indicator, guys in the red. I noticed that you threw the MACD in there on your charts too. I should put that at the bottom of mine as well. I think the MACD it's an old animal that's worn out a lot of hammers. It's still a valid indicator.
Yeah, it just kind of gives me a slightly different take on the easy entry, or the easy entry is a slightly different take on the MACD. I kind of like having
Yeah,
both of them, even though it kind of makes the bottom of my chart a little bit packed. Um, yeah, I like it. It
you
shows me
kind of.
when the lines cross back up better than the easy entry.
Oh yeah. The MACD is sharp. So if I look here, like I mean, there's kind of a area of interest there in the chart that we're playing with on the 30 minute. You can see where this would be a logical bounce spot if it's going to do it. You know, I wonder since we're like using ultra long time frames, 30 minute, because for futures. But if I do a,
I
you can
kind of
kind of
feel like it's going to come down more because when the 30-minute Trendillo turns green or red, it's a pretty big deal. Um, if I was going to take a long position, I would wait at least for the 2-minute 5 and 8 to cross bullish, and then the other indicators would have to say, yeah, this is actually a good place to, take some long trade, but it's not there yet. It's just still coming down.
Yeah, so now we're stuck in that situation where the like you mentioned before, the 30 minute tends to show the like attitude of the market, and uh it's a 30 minute. If you have that downwards pressure on the 30, yeah, that'll affect the lower time frames too. And so yeah, the 2 minute, it's like, is it rolling over yet? Like not quite. How about the 15? How about the 5 minute? 5 minute. It could be. well, the 5 minute looks like it's rolling over, but like the tangent of the Trendillo and the RSI have definitely turned positive there on the 5 minute. But let's see, 15 seconds. Bit, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll just watch the 2 minute here for a positive. I think
That's
I'd
pretty much
feel,
what I'm doing.
yeah, I think I'd feel better if the 2 minute, when that 2 minute tangent goes positive of the RSI and the Trendillo, I think I'd feel a little bit more, positive of the whole thing. Well, actually, while we're waiting for that to make its move, maybe I'll check out how is UTC USD looking here. I'll look on Coinbase. It's my favorite exchange to look at that. Let's see. How you doing this morning, Bitcoin? It's kind of sideways. Kind of
What's the price of
uneventful.
Bitcoin today? I didn't even look at it yet.
It looks like it's 63,443 or something like that. So
Right. So
yeah, it's
not.
kind of, yeah. I mean, it had a bump the last couple of days. That's for sure. I mean, if I look at the parallel channel here, I definitely can be a little bit creative and draw, an upwards channel there. Looking at the 4 hour chart, I mean, it does look like it's on its way. It's a positive move there. But if I go to my daily, um, let's look at the day chart. Let me just look at my let's see, let that refresh. So Bitcoin 4 hour chart. Let's look at a daily chart. Yeah, so on the daily chart, it's looking at like from a crypto perspective, looking at like the blockchain sort of indicators that I never like it when you're between the 200 and the 314, and so we are, but we might break that 200, and the squeeze indicator is looking good, directional index is looking good. We'll see what kind of happens. What I really like to look at here is the MACD, the daily MACD. I think for me really I just have to remember which MACD is it. Just give me the old school MACD. There we go. Okay, so looking at the daily MACD, which I think is sort of like the holy grail of indicators for Bitcoin, it looks to me like maybe we're getting ready to see that daily MACD roll over. And once that tangent really, makes that move like here, once it really, crosses down, especially like here, I think that's where what I've noticed. It's just I think you see a lot of algorithmic trading. Actually, when that
Yeah.
tangent moves, and we'll just see Bitcoin just go like just plunk.
Well, you got to remember, Craig, that in 2020, Bitcoin had another halving event in March or April. I think it was March. And in October of 2020, it actually broke the high that it had been at, the recent high, which I think was 12,500. It took until January to break the 19,800 or whatever it was peak
Yeah.
that we had in December of 2017. So I'm looking at next month as a possible month when Bitcoin may break above 74,000, which is the all-time high, and just take off for the moon. Historically speaking, after the halving events, Bitcoin can go up anywhere from 500% to 800%. So it's going to be interesting. Now it's a different world because we have the BlackRock ETF really pulling the strings, as well as the U.S. government definitely has their hands in it. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
They're really running BlackRock behind the scenes and secretly own it through all sorts of different companies and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely owned. Yeah. BlackRock is a unique monster.
Yeah, the only company on the planet that's allowed to loan money to the Fed, BlackRock. That's true.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they
Wow.
have a lot of money.
It's like in Game of Thrones, the Iron Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan, but I do remember I watched a little bit of it, and the Iron Bank is really, there's a lot of parable in Game of Thrones. I would say that the series was hard to watch on YouTube because I'm not YouTube, but on HBO, just because it was so dumb. But um, the books, I only read half of the first book, and it kind of messed up ever watching it for me because the writer is actually amazing stuff, but the HBO dumbed down version, oh, it's painful to watch because the books are so much deeper than what they could do on HBO. You know,
And I would imagine the books probably didn't have the, the soft porn that they had on the HBO version. Or the film.
yeah, didn't quite have the soft porn, and it was much more like meaningful. It was yeah, some of the initial relationships get created in that first book, and man, the HBO it was just retarded. It was silly. They just didn't have the intellectual ability to I guess read. No reading comprehension. um but yeah, so Bitcoin, we'll see here on the daily what it's going to do. You know, I'm with you. I think we could see that halving action, and we could see that big run. I'm kind of keeping some Bitcoin myself. I'm definitely holding it. I like it. It's kind of one of those investments, kind of like having some gold and silver. You know, I have just some Bitcoin, but I got to admit, I swing it in and out. You know, I really don't dollar cost average when it's trending down. I sort of I I kind of like to have my little hedge in Bitcoin, just because if it does hit that Lambo halving move, I can just sit back and make money. But yeah, I'm not gonna ever ride it down. You know, I'm just too much of a ruthless gangster for that. That's 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 the old trader Craig who does dumbass stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't do the what do they call it? The DGN stuff anymore. The DGN
Oh
trades.
no.
Go 100x and leave it. Just
Oh
like this.
no, no, yeah, much more. I want to pay the rent. You know, I want to make money. But yeah, so we see this beautiful downtrend on the daily for Bitcoin. You know, we are seeing lower lows that are coming in, but you know, we could be seeing like I think this guy here, that's not exactly a lower low. That's kind of an equal low. So we'll see. You know, so I do think we could see this bonk, the move, and just you know, I want to be in it. So I keep a little hedge in Bitcoin when when I'm not losing money, having that hedge because I think we could see something, you know, something happen. And let's see what is looking at FinViz. How's the market doing? Looking at the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, Russell 2000. Um, the only one up is the Russell right now at 0.14 up. Looking at the S&P 500 in general this morning, nothing too exciting. Tesla's in the green, but we're not starting a strong morning at least. Bitcoin volume down last 24 hours. Um, where's my cool little thing here? Where's that one? I've got that one cool thing I like to look at if I can find it, which for some reason is not here this morning. Here it is. Yeah. Live Bitcoin charts, an amazing site. And it shows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin never loads anymore. It used to, but Bitcoin's at 63,429. And I love that it shows the top 100 coins. And yeah, top 100 cryptocurrencies sorted by market cap, and really it helps me see what's going on, you know, in the crypto market. Like Dog Whiff Hat is in the green this morning.
Yeah.
You know, our AR Weave, you know, which I like its ticker is AR. That's cool, works for me. Um, but in the top 100 are neutral to kind of green. You know, Cardano's up 4.7%, ADA. Internet Computer, you know, ICP is up 7.5. So I think definitely we've got a bit of maybe a bullish day for the alt market. You know, we'll see. You know. And then looking at our little NASDAQ here, are we getting that 2-minute reversal? It's a little, it's right now challenging that 5 moving average on the 2-minute chart. And I don't know, would you say that's beginning to show kind of a rollover, or is that sort of weak?
It's a little weak at the moment because the 30-minute
Mm,
trend is still very bearish. Um, I would wait for the 30-minute to start maybe showing a little bit more, because if you look at the 30-minute squeeze and the Trindillo, it's all showing just the start of a bearish
Yep.
environment. So bearish down
Yeah.
cycle. So I'm real apprehensive. And looking at the 2-minute, it just looks kind of dumpy to me. So I feel like it's probably just going to break that support, and make a lower low on the 2-minute. That's just what I see.
No, that makes sense.
And the bulls are trying to long scalp this here to prop the price up, but the 5 and 8 did cross bullish, and then it just rolled over, and it's right on the 2-minute of crossing bearish again. So, because we are technically still in a downtrend.
Yeah. I'm not seeing, like, looking at Top Step X, that great time and sales thing they've got, just going to like 5-minute, or I should say, no, 5, that's the number. I'm not seeing any, no tremendous amount of longs or shorts piling in, which sometimes, I don't know, it can kind of be an indicator. But yeah, so we're just waiting to see what happens. And let's look at some of our favorites, like NVIDIA. On the 2-minute, maybe look at a 5-minute to get a better idea. NVIDIA, opened with a push. Now it's kind of doing the same thing as the NASDAQ. How's GameStop doing? GameStop not making
GME?
too much. Yeah, GME not looking too incredible this morning. Looking at Apple. So things seem like they opened with a little bit of a spurt, but now they're, cooling off real fast. My gosh, Microsoft 5-minute candles just dumped this morning. Now there's one, honestly, I think my soul would be more tainted doing a doing a trade in Microsoft than oil.
Yeah, well,
But
see, if you trade Microsoft, you're actually supporting the world's most prolific philanthropath. So,
yeah.
I don't want to support the depopulation of the planet and kill off of billions. That's just not my thing.
I know.
As far as crude is concerned, I would much rather short it than go long, just because I
Yeah.
want the price to come down. I want everybody to pay less at the pumps, and I think that having close to $80 a barrel is just not healthy.
No, it's rough.
You
It's
know,
rough on the
prices
world.
are high enough for food and housing and all this already without having to pay $4 a gallon at the pump. It's just dumb.
And what got me was looking at the recent rate cut, that Powell, mentioned in his benevolent, stature and wisdom up there, talking about the rate cut. And one of the quotes from his thing was, he said that the economy is so strong, we want to keep it strong, so we're doing a rate cut. And I'm like, or he said like inflation is doing better. Anyway, it's like, talk about news speak. I'm like, things are getting better. I'm like, dude, I'm like, thanks for the rate cut. It does help. Well, long term it doesn't, but like for the very moment, you know, as a trader, I just look at it. We're going to probably see an uptrend in a lot of things. So I just look at it from the trading perspective. But this guy's talking about a world that like does not exist. I'm like, hyperinflation is chilling out, Mr. Powell. Like, you don't go to the grocery store, do you? Your staff does. Because if you
Right.
if you lived a life like other people,
He's not going to go to the grocery store and put his life in danger.
no,
Just like Trump doesn't go to the grocery store.
no,
People
no, he
bring in
doesn't.
stuff. They probably have a huge walk-in cooler, and they probably bring stuff in by a truck, unmarked truck, and load it in.
His fridge is larger than most people's houses.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah.
He has a walk-in like free, fridge room. Yeah. Well, I remember, you know, I guess it's not really corporate secrets. I mean, but I remember when I was a contractor, well, working at a company that Microsoft owned. This is a good long time ago, but I've seen the Redmond campus many times, and the main executive building is this like silver square. It's a odd building compared to all the other architecture of the place, and they have like a driveway. It goes down and under with a gate and a guard. So they actually never really. It's kind of funny. Even back then. This is like, I don't know, more than a decade ago. Uh, they had to live, not just the executives, they had to live a very protected life. And I do believe that some of the stories are true from people have told me that there are a lot of tunnels under Redmond and I guess it's technically Bellevue and such, or, where they like where Mr. Gates does drive around. He's a lot of these reptilians do move around underground. So I've never seen it, but I've been told by people who have that or claim they have that. Yeah, man, Mr. Gates gets around underground.
Yeah, all the globalists, for a fact, do have vast underground networks of tunnels. They're all paved. There's food storage. Supposedly, there's even seed storage down there, so that
Yes.
if they decide they want to just blow up the world, at some point they can come out, or the descendants can, and start everything fresh and have globalists and their descendants running the country just like it is now, but
Yeah,
a lot less people. So I
yeah.
guess under Dallas Fort Worth Airport, that's one of the major hubs, and people have actually shown videos of being down there. I mean, it
Hmm.
goes on for miles, and supposedly they're all connected with Air Force Air Force bases, different airports all across the country. They've had the technology to tunnel underground for probably 50 years
Oh yeah, yeah,
and just do whatever they want. But you have to be
yeah.
in the club to go down there, so
Oh yeah, you gotta be. Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
it. So
yeah. I know, but I'd love to get in on there, like trading calls in the morning.
oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
dump everything we have into gold this morning, jack the price up because we just bought like 100 tons of gold from
Oh,
the Fed or whatever. We're
yeah.
selling a private, very secure facility. So we're going to jack the price up and then make a secret ETF and then sell shares by the end of the day
Oh yeah.
to our
It's
elite
so
friends.
true.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, of course, that's totally made up, but yeah,
Well,
they can do anything they
oh,
want,
they can. They can.
and they don't even have to tell us.
No. Yeah, we're living in a unique time, and this is
Yeah.
definitely one of the ways that you can kind of, create wealth and be ready for the times that are already happening that are crazy. Um, Looking at gold futures in the 5 minute, we're challenging a recent high. So gold's definitely having a good morning so far. Like 26,063. That's not bad. I do wonder what gold's going to do. There's so much conjecture. I don't even really sweat it. I don't know, but I mean, up or down, it's having a good day. It's good recently. How about where's my silver? Silver futures in the 5 minute. Up a little bit today, but you know, silver's silver looks like it's kind of maybe turning up right now. That's interesting. Um, so commodities are not doing bad. I mean, I didn't think I'd see. I mean, silver's over $31 an ounce now. That's pretty damn cool. I mean,
Yeah, the
how
last
does it?
time I saw it was like what, 25? It was like
Yeah,
25 forever, it seems like.
I know. It just hung out at 25. Like, yeah, it wasn't that long ago. When was that? Like looking at August of 2022, we were down there at like $18, and now we're just cruising up. I mean, that's quite the trend. It makes me think like that's how's that
Well,
look if
it seems to follow gold. Gold seems to
yeah.
be making higher highs, every few days it makes a higher high. So it's just today, I believe gold has made a higher high, all-time high,
Hmm.
20,663 right now, and climbing.
Look at
Um,
that. Oh, it's pushing this morning.
if you look at the 4 hour, it's really, really moving. They
Let's
are
look at the
buying
four
this.
4 hour 4 hour gold future. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
And if you look at crude on the 2 minute, it looks like a buy to me. I really think it's going to come up. The 5 minute
Oh yeah, look at
is
that.
really getting there. But I mean, all you need is for it to go up like $1, and you just made a
Woo.
bunch of money. Like,
And it's pushing.
yeah.
Wow. What is crude on Top Step? Let's see. I think
CL1 exclamation point on TradingView.
and here on
On Top Step X, crude is, let's see here. Micro crude is MCLX24. Mini crude. Oh yeah. Mini crude is QMX24.
QMX24. So mini crude. All right. A mini crude oil. Looking at 2-minute chart here, it's below the VWAP here on the 2-minute.
Yep. MX and X is the October contract, I believe. So we're trading December contract on NQ. Some of the other ones are trading October contract, like crude.
Yeah.
Hasn't rolled over yet.
And crude is, yeah, it looks like we could see that nice little bit of a move today, but it's below the 75 moving average. It's challenged the 5 and the 10. It's above that. So it's kind of, we'll have to watch that. I mean, crude could be one to watch.
Yeah, I would watch it on the 5-minute because that's going to tell you when it's really kind of finished, going down and starting to smooth back up. That'll give you a better confirmation.
Yeah.
Before we end this, I want to say I was thinking of people that you could have on your podcast.
Yeah.
One of them I'd recommend is see if you can get Whitney to join
Whitney
you.
Webb?
Yeah. See if you can get her to join you for a podcast. And the other one is Jeff Berwick.
Jeff Berwick. Oh.
Dollar Vigilante and Crypto Vigilante.
Yeah, I would definitely have him on. I'll see if I can.
Character.
That's a good idea. I've thought about Whitney Webb.
I think about it all the time.
I know. Well, Jeff Berwick, I'll send him. I'll see if I can contact him because he's like he's a pretty approachable guy. It'd be good to have a little bit of a rapport with him and do some. I have to remind myself of that. Like Jeff Berwick, however you spell it, Berwick.
BERWICK.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is him. Did he write books?
I don't think he's really too much of an author, but he used to do the.
There he is.
Do a show with his dog, and then the dog passed away. And now he kind of like he just kind of walks around and he talks about world conditions, what's really happening behind the scenes, the illusions they feed us basically are pretty much all false. So he talks a lot about the stuff that's really going on in the world, and he does right.
He does put out like his wandering, stuff. He does is actually quite. Yeah, I'll follow Tim Cass.
Well, it's entertaining. I mean, it's entertaining and it's pretty informative.
Oh, it is. I mean, he gives a lot away in his little. I don't really want to go to like what is that like his little like yearly thing like, but
the
yeah.
Anarchapulco, yeah. He's got some variants now of that. He talks a lot about Liberland in Europe, which is a little kind of unincorporated area that's not claimed by any countries. And some people actually started a libertarian society in that area. Basically started like a camp. And I think they've actually been able to add to it and create some type of order in that area. So that's worth checking out and maybe, for the future to see if, really what's going on. Like an update on Liberland would be a great topic, or one of many topics.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I can get him on.
He would know exactly what's going on in Liberland.
So he wrote a book called The Controlled Demolition of the American Empire, Jeff Berwick, that's why he's on Amazon here.
All right.
That's interesting.
He's also big on Pirate Coin. He loves ARRR as well. And he talked about that all the way back in, 2018, 2019 when it was super cheap. And a lot of people made a bunch of money on it because it went up as Bitcoin did. It went pretty high.
See, pirate coins like RRUSDT.
ARRR.
Yeah, so you can play that one on Gate.io and MEXC. I think I like MEXC a little better. How's that looking? Oh, well, definitely. If somebody's interested in that, look at that. We are just riding on the daily a long time, sideways low here, but looking at the how's that look? I mean,
It's
uh
a bit flat right now, but the squeeze looks good. But the
yeah,
main takeaway is if you look at that big first price increase
that
on the
squeeze.
daily, people who bought ARRR early, they made a fortune, you know?
Yeah, they did. I mean, let me see. Let me get my So like that's quite interesting. I like that. So this guy here, this is the my indicators are a little weird right now. That is the So yeah, I mean, one sec. How's that look? Yeah, I'm not sure how my MACD got to the top there. Anyway, anyway, sometimes we all get confused by our indicators. But looking at the MACD, you can kind of see where it's slowly on a daily, it's making a move. It's back towards the positive side. Yeah, you mentioned the squeeze indicator. That's a nice daily squeeze indicator. It's
Yep.
given a lot back. It's been sideways. And so if we were to look at, like you mentioned, well, if I was just to do with what we can see here, I guess, fib, I mean, I could start here or here. I guess I could maybe, if I started way back there, where are we in that cycle? you know, that kind of fits, but I wonder if I was to go here, how's that? That gets interesting. I don't know. This is one people can definitely, check out. I mean, I, I'm still not above that like speculative, you know. Well, there you go. Yeah, we'll have to just watch. This thing is definitely flat. I mean, it's definitely, I think, found its low. I mean, if it went back to that anywhere near that previous high that we had a while ago. But if we were to, get even near, if we started to run and got anywhere even near it, that's 150%, you know. I
Yep.
mean, that's so, and now, like, what does it even cost now? What, a couple of Satoshis? Like, what's that, like 17 cents? So, not a bad little bag of shitcoin if anybody wants
Yeah,
it.
and the best thing of all is it's a privacy coin that has
Yes.
a really good, really good structure to it and a lot of great features. So,
And I wonder if I could buy that and then put it on a hardware wallet. If I could do that, that would be, just one of those fun things to, stick in the drawer. $50 that, who knows. I got into Shiba Inu back when it was nobody cared about it, and that made me a lot of money actually. Um, so, but there he is. There's Jeff Borwick with David Icke and with David Avocado Wolf, quite the interesting character. Um, a vegan freedom fighter from a long time ago. Do you know David Avocado Wolf?
no, I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's been like a raw food vegan for shit, long as I've been alive, and he just quite the interesting, freedom fighter. He's a really cool character. He's kind of like a Jeff Berwick, just vegan. So anyway, but wow, I'll keep that in mind. I'll see if I can get a hold of Jeff Berwick. That would be kind of a fun one. So, well, anyway, yeah, I gotta get my little butt to the office here. But we're watching those 5 minute candles. Looks like maybe we're getting a turn up now. We'll have to. I'm gonna. I'll be watching. Let's see if we can make some more money today.
Yeah, it's pretty choppy, but it's basically chopping to the downside so far.
Yeah. Oh, how's that 30 minute looking? Let's see. The 30 minute, is it still kind
Still
of
green, but
negative?
it's a little bit flat on the bottom of the Trindillo, so it might be
Yeah.
something to think about, something as far as upside, but not really, not yet.
Yeah. Not too
A
exciting
little bit
yet.
coming. There's some type of somebody was saying there's a announcement today. Um, we have 10 a.m. Pacific. We have U.S. 2-year note high yield and note bid to cover. BOC's Governor Macklem speaks at 10:10 Pacific. Oh, I know what it is. At 7 a.m., which we've already had, USCB Consumer Confidence.
Ah,
So that was the big thing for the day at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. So
U.S.
that's already behind us.
Yeah, U.S. consumer confidence plunges most in 3 years as labor market weakens significantly. I started seeing some headlines about that this morning, like the labor market being way weaker than has been claimed or was expected or was imagined, you know.
The forecast was 104. The actual says 98.7. So looking at the NQ chart, they were already kind of front running it a bit. The announcement, meaning at just after New York opened, and then at 7 o'clock Pacific, it dumped really hard. And I think this is a big cause of that dump. So right now we're seeing the aftermath of the USCB consumer confidence data.
Makes sense.
We have to just kind of wait until they all forget about it and the price starts going up, and then we can buy.
Exactly. Well, I will and contract expires on Friday, September 20th, or it did expire. Well, I will I'll send an invite out for tomorrow, and if you're around, we can hop on again. I got a little bit more time in the mornings this week, so good to take advantage of it. And yeah, I will try to get my ass up earlier and get on a little bit before. I'm always striving to do that. We'll see if I can make it happen tomorrow, but I'll send you an invite for tomorrow, and I'll drop it in the blockchain education, chat as well. And
Okay.
let's have a party. I'll see you tomorrow if you're around.
Okay, sounds good, Craig.
All right, take care.
You too. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.